Hi, this is Sal.
And this is Steve O.
And this is Dirty Masenko. This is the show where we review Dragon Ball Z episodes and give you our thoughts and opinions. Not that it matters or not that anyone watches our show.
No, not really. This episode that we watched. It's been a while, Sal, that we've been actually doing this thing, but it's good to be back.
It's been a few months.
Feels like a few years.
We made some changes, and hopefully it works out for the best. And today's episode was Gohan Makes a Friend, but I dubbed it Gohan Grows Some Balls.
Yeah, this is a episode. Last time we left off, and those who've watched the show, Piccolo pretty much leaves Gohan to learn on his own, grow on his own, and this one is pretty much Gohan in the wild. So it's pretty much Gohan dodging big ass animals, which I know we've talked about this before, but it's just a little ridiculous in this world of Dragon Ball Z. We've got these really huge predators that are pretty much, man's not the highest in the food chain apparently in the wild, and Gohan sees that. So
I know that was the first thing I noticed. Like, where do all these like huge animals live, or like what planet? I know it's planet Earth, and I know it's a Pantasia's life world that we live in for Dragon Ball, but it's just like some animals talk, some animals don't. Some dinosaurs talk, some dinosaurs don't, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I know you just kind of go with it, and they don't really explain it that much. and especially in Dragon Ball, there was a lot of like enemies and talking animals that were talking animals in Dragon Ball. But I noticed that, and I honestly, before we started, I wasn't looking forward to reviewing this episode just because I thought it was a filler. And it is, but I think it more steps up to like what's up ahead, and it kind of got me excited again, and I'm glad we watched it. But it really shows that the progression of Gohan. You see him like actually like defending himself, being chased by animals, and him. I mean, he's still kind of a wuss, but it's not as much of a wuss because when he hurt himself, and he does that flashback to Goku when he's making that ointment for him. And he's crying like a little bee, and finally he does it to himself, and he can't believe that he's actually doing it,
Right.
So I mean, it was actually a good episode, and then I liked the build up. Well, I kind of liked it. The build up to like the Z Fighters reuniting again. Well, I guess they're not even the Z Fighters yet. Well, the spoiler alert, but the actual. The creation of the Z Fighters is like starting to begin now.
This episode is where Yamcha is being, with those who are familiar with Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z lore, we know Krillin and Yamcha and Goku. They all know each other over time, they've gotten to know each other. They've been close there. They consider themselves close friends. So Yamcha hears about Goku's death, but gets excited because he's now going to be trained by Kami. Krillin pretty much goes to recruit him, and that's where they're going.
That was a horrible way to recruit him, though. I mean, I know like he's a fighter and everything, and he was at the baseball game,
Right.
But like, do you think Krillin would actually show up during a fight? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like opposite of how Krillin is. He's a wuss. He tries to avoid it at all costs. But I guess since they were regular humans and they weren't trained.
Yeah, you know what? This is. I actually forgot that this was included. This is one of those things where I haven't watched the show in a while.
Yeah.
So you forget certain things, and you forget. I've known that Yamcha prior to him being a fighter was actually a baseball player. I guess that's how he got his money. But it's just funny to. Again, this is one of those episodes where it's like you've seen someone like Yamcha, who obviously is an above-average human, trying to do human things, and like, I just got to play baseball to get some money, but I'd really rather be fighting and trying to, try to get a fight out there. I want to be fighting alongside Goku. I want to be fighting alongside my friends. I just think it's funny because like, if you watch the series, if you know the series, these guys don't stand a hell of a chance against the Saiyans, and yet they're so optimistic about like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this training from Kami. I'll be like 10 times stronger. You ain't gonna be stronger than Goku. Let's just
right. But I mean, you got to remember the last person they fought was Piccolo, and Piccolo. I mean, yeah, Goku had a hard time fighting him, but Goku obviously hasn't turned Super Saiyan yet. So obviously he's still, they're still admirable fighters in my opinion. But yeah, they end up sucking. And we'll get into that later. But it's built up for disappointment. No, but the one thing that I really liked, and going back to Gohan because I guess it was supposed to be focused on him. Yeah. Oh, actually, no, time out. They didn't focus on Goku a lot.
No, and
they just showed him for like 10 seconds, and that was it.
They won't, and Goku is his own thing. You'll see it a lot. Just they focus on, of course, one area at a time. This one, was more Gohan. Goku is just, but I in this episode when he does like mention anything, he's just complaining about how tired he is and hungry. And I'm thinking to myself, you're dead. How could you?
No, he didn't mention that he was hungry. He mentioned he was like loopy
or something.
Yeah, he was tired. But
basically, he's like, he's mortal, but he's still, you're dead.
Yeah, they kind of they kind of like messed that up. It's like a plot hole in a weird way. But also too, when Yamcha was playing baseball and the manager comes up to him and he's like, hey, I'll throw in a bonus for you. He was like, what about $20,000? And I was like, wait a minute, don't they use yen or yeni or what's it called? Zenny. Zenny. There it is.
Like that.
So I was just wondering, like, I wonder if they actually use the dollar currency in whatever world they live in. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It was a mess up. I'm pretty sure.
It's and then more of a translation issue.
But here's a good question: How much do you think the dollar's worth in yen in zennies?
That's a good question.
Maybe like I don't know.
Well, isn't like the dog the president of like their country though?
Or something? Oh yeah.
So I try to take it too much at face value. Like let them say dollars. Maybe it's a little better.
And again, too, adding on that too, the dog talks. Like, why can't the dinosaur talk? You know what I mean? Like,
no, dinosaurs do talk apparently.
Yeah, well, no, in Dragon Ball, they had that dinosaur was actually in the tournament.
Yeah, again, just screwy stuff, and I counted like 4 predators that were trying to kill Gohan in that episode. Ranging from a crocodile, from a hawk to like a tiger.
That hawk was huge.
Yeah,
dude.
they're all huge.
It's like, how come like the regular Earthlings, they don't get attacked by these big animals?
Well, shoot, you don't want to go camping in a place like that because it's like I'm gonna get picked off by a huge hawk.
I'm gonna get mauled by a hawk.
Forget bears, which would probably be too monstrous. A hawk will just come down and swoop you, like, oh, there goes my kid. Sorry, guess
And I'm getting off topic of the episode, but like it reminded me of again talking animals, but like the first few episodes of regular Dragon Ball, it's Goku, Bulma, and the tortoise, and they run into this big tiger. I think it was a tiger or a bear.
Yeah, it was a tiger.
Yeah, it was a tiger,
like
and he was huge.
Yeah.
And he walked like you know what I mean. The tiger walked, and he had this awesome armor, and I remember Goku destroyed him. But I mean, this goes back. It's like so flawed, but it's so. I don't know. I mean, I remember as a kid and a teenager, I kind of looked past it. Yeah, I didn't really think about it now. And it's such, I mean, like I said, I don't have a problem with it because it's such a fantasy world that if we weren't doing the show, we weren't picking apart from it. Like, it's an enjoyable show if you can look past those things. It really is. I love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the last thing I had was that it was kind of I remember the first time I saw this episode that I remember when the dinosaur got killed.
Right.
And for some reason that I remembered that the dinosaur was preventing the Tyrannosaurus Rex from
eating Gohan.
From eating Gohan, but it didn't turn out like that. Gohan got owned by the T-Rex, and then he lost his friend, and he was crying about it, but he wasn't whining like a little wuss again. You know what I mean? So
this is a very growing up episode for Gohan because, and it's not really known whether, I mean, sure, in some way it is. Piccolo meant for him to do that because he wanted him to get stronger in that way. And you see that toward the end, Gohan starts to he kind of tears up a bit but keeps walking forward. That's just life. He learned something. I was noting down that, it's just so different because, Goku was so different as a child compared to Gohan as a child. It's just vastly different, and maybe that was the intention. Again, more to separate Dragon Ball Z from regular Dragon Ball. You would kind of maybe think of the same, same way of growing up that Goku went through, that Gohan should go through, but it's not. Gohan is actually trying to learn more on his own than Goku ever did, and funny. If I watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged, it's kind of a running joke. Like it's always like, oh, Daddy wasn't really there for me. I got daddy issues. It's so funny because it's just they just grow up they're so different when the way they grow up. But it's funny because it's like when I first saw Dragon Ball, Goku could already lift rocks and do all this crazy crazy stuff. Gohan doesn't even know how much strength he has yet. And then you see that part where he like nicks a rock and it'll kind of cracks. Yeah, but then it cracks a little bit. And like, okay, well, Goku as a kid would have just lifted the rock or just crushed it already,
Yeah, he would have waited. He would have stood there until he
he beat a giant ass bear, and Goku, Gohan's not really having such luck with dinosaurs and other giant hawks and crocodiles.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I don't know. But anyway, your final thoughts. Did you like the episode or did you not like the episode, and why?
I liked the episode. I liked the episode because, it's like you said earlier, it builds up. We are starting to learn that Gohan is trying to figure things out, and he's starting to get a handle on things, and it's an important part of him developing. So it's a good episode.
I agree. Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens, even though I know what happens. But you just kind of forget the episodes. You just know the gist of it. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, guys. But the question of the day: who would win in a fight, Krillin or Yamcha? Leave your interesting responses in the comment section below. Don't forget to like or subscribe. Thank you for watching, to all 7 of y'all. We really appreciate y'all. Tell your friends about it if you like it. That'd be awesome. I think we'll have a Facebook up soon after we do a few more episodes. So be on the lookout for that. All right, guys. This is Sal.
And this is Steve O.
See you later.
Yep.